Bangladesh, you know that vibrant country in South Asia? It's known for its rich culture, beautiful landscapes, and bustling cities. Right now, it's got a serious case of the student blues. The youth are visibly frustrated, and it's not hard to see why. Young people all over the country are ditching their books and hitting the streets. They're leaving their classrooms and taking their grievances to the public eye. Why? They're demanding better education, safer schools, and the right to, actually speak their minds. They want a system that listens to their needs and addresses their concerns. They've been at it for weeks, and trust me, they're not backing down. Their determination is palpable, and their voices are growing louder by the day. It's inspiring stuff, but also a little worrying, The passion is there, but so is the tension. The situation is a mix of hope and uncertainty. Like, when did school kids become braver than most politicians? Their courage is something to behold, standing up to authority figures without hesitation. This whole thing kicked off back in start date of the strike, and it's been non-stop action since. The movement has only gained momentum over time. Imagine thousands of students, from big universities to small colleges, all united for a common cause. It's a powerful sight. Seeing so many young people come together, it's like they all got together and said, "Enough is enough! We deserve better." Their unity sends a strong message to those in power. And you know what? They're absolutely right. Their fight for a better future is not just justified, it's necessary. The world is watching and their voices are being heard. Okay, so what are these brave students fighting for? What drives them to take to the streets and raise their voices so passionately? Well, their demands are pretty straightforward, really. They are asking for things that should be basic rights for every student. First off, they want a better education system. This means more than just attending classes. It means having access to quality resources. I'm talking quality textbooks, qualified teachers, the whole shebang. They want an environment where learning is engaging and effective. They're tired of outdated curriculums and a system that feels rigged against them. They want to be prepared for the future, not stuck in the past. Next up on their list is safety. This is a fundamental need that goes beyond the classroom walls. And I'm not just talking about bullies in the playground, although that's a problem too. They want a comprehensive approach to safety. I'm talking about serious stuff like harassment, violence, and even traffic accidents on their way to school. These are real threats that affect their daily lives. They want to feel safe on campus and off, which, let's be honest, is the least we can ask for. A safe environment is crucial for effective learning. And finally, they're demanding the right to protest. This is about having a voice and being heard. They want to be able to voice their concerns without fear of being silenced or worse. Free speech is a cornerstone of any democratic society. It's like they're saying, "Hey, we're the future of this country, let us speak." They want to be active participants in shaping their own futures. And frankly, who can argue with that? Their demands are not just reasonable, they are essential for building a better tomorrow. This student strike? Yeah, it's not just making waves in Bangladesh anymore. Word has spread like wildfire, and now the whole world is watching. News outlets are covering it, social media is buzzing, and even politicians in other countries are like, "Hey Bangladesh, maybe listen to your students, yeah?" It's actually kind of amazing. These kids, armed with nothing but their voices and smartphones, have managed to grab the world's attention. They've shown everyone that even in the face of, let's say, resistance, young people can make themselves heard. It's a powerful message, and it's resonating far beyond the borders of Bangladesh. We are the future of Bangladesh, but we are being denied a quality education and a safe environment to learn and grow. Powerful stuff, right? Then there's Fahim, another student activist, who said, "We are not asking for much, just the basic rights that every student deserves. We will not be silenced, and we will not back down until our demands are met." You tell him, Fahim. These are just a couple of examples, but trust me, there are countless others. Each student has their own story, their own reason for joining the movement, but they're all united by a shared desire for a better future for themselves and for Bangladesh. Section 5, the government's response, a big meh.
So, how has the government responded to all this, you ask?
Well, let's just say it's been a bit of a mixed bag. Initially, there was a lot of, shall we say, ignoring going on. Like maybe if they pretended the students weren't there, they'd just go away. Spoiler alert, that didn't work.
Then came the promises. You know the drill, we hear you, we see you, we're working on it. But the students, They're not falling for it this time. They've heard it all before. They want action, not words. And until they see some concrete changes, they're not going anywhere.
Section 6 experts say it's bigger than just school.
Here's the thing about this student strike. It's about more than just education or safety. It's about something much bigger. It's about the future of Bangladesh itself. Experts are saying that this is a sign of a generation that's fed up with the status quo, a generation that's demanding change.
Think about it. These students, they're the ones who will be running the country one day. They're the doctors, the lawyers, the entrepreneurs, the leaders of tomorrow. And right now they're sending a clear message. Things need to change. They're not just asking for a better education, they're asking for a better Bangladesh. Section 7. So, what happens next? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? What happens next in this student-led revolution? Will the government finally listen and implement meaningful reforms? Or will they continue to drag their feet and hope the whole thing just blows over? Honestly, no one knows for sure. But one thing is certain, the students of Bangladesh have found their voice and they're not afraid to use it. They've shown incredible courage, resilience, and a deep love for their country. And that's something worth fighting for. Section 8. This isn't Bangladesh's first rodeo. Here's a little history lesson for you. This isn't the first time students in Bangladesh have taken to the streets to demand change. Remember 1990? That's right. These kids are basically following in the footsteps of their parents, who also stood up against an autocratic regime. History repeating itself? Maybe. Inspiring? Definitely. See, Bangladesh has a long and proud history of student activism. It's like a rite of passage. You graduate from drinking bad coffee in the library to leading protests in the streets. And each generation they add their own chapter to this ongoing story of fighting for a better future. Section 9. The world is watching. Pressure from outside. Remember how we talked about this whole thing going global? Well, it's happening and it's happening fast. This global attention is not just a passing trend, it's a significant development. See, when the world is watching, governments tend to act a little differently. They become more cautious, more calculated. Suddenly, they have to worry about their international image. They can't afford to look bad on the global stage. No one wants to be known as the country that cracks down on students, right? The stakes are higher now. So all those news articles, social media posts, and statements from international organizations, they're not just noise. They're actually putting pressure on the Bangladeshi government to find a peaceful resolution. The world is watching closely. It's like the whole world is saying, hey, maybe listen to these kids, they might be onto something. The message is loud and clear.
Absolutely. The global attention is making a significant impact. It's a game changer. Governments can't ignore the voices of their youth when the entire world is watching and urging them to act responsibly. The pressure is immense. The international community's support is crucial in pushing for a peaceful and just resolution. It's a collective effort, a global call for justice.
Section 10. The future of Bangladesh. It's in the students' hands. Here's the thing about young people. They're not afraid to dream big. They imagine a world without corruption, without injustice, without inequality, and they're willing to fight for it. They're not afraid to challenge the status quo, to demand better from their leaders, to create a future that's worthy of their dreams. The student strike in Bangladesh is more than just a protest. It's a beacon of hope. It's a reminder that even in the face of adversity, the human spirit, especially the youthful spirit, yearns for progress, for justice, for a better tomorrow. The future of Bangladesh, it's uncertain, sure. But one thing's for sure, it's in very capable hands. These students, they are the change makers and they're just getting started.